Hello, Vector Explorers. In our previous video, we explored how linear combinations let us scale and add arrows together. But if we fix just two vectors, what is the total reachable set of all those combinations? Most explanations of linear algebra rush straight into abstract equations, but we are going to start by looking at this as a physical territory waiting to be mapped. To understand this, imagine you are operating a tracking drone. The drone only has two controls: dial A, which moves it forward and backward along a steel blue path, and dial B, which slides it along a soft purple path. By turning these two dials to different levels, we can combine their directions. This physical control panel is exactly how we should visualize linear combinations. Now, what if we turn these dials to every possible number, both positive and negative? Let us watch. As we scale the steel blue vector and add it to the scaled purple vector, the tip of the combined arrow begins to trace a path. If we systematically try every single pair of numbers, the tracing tip paints a solid glowing sheet. It turns out that these two simple directions can steer our drone to any point on this flat surface. This complete set of all possible combinations is called the span of our two vectors. Mathematically, we write it as the span of vector phi and vector w. However, most people think of linear algebra as a set of rules for solving equations. But here is what is truly happening. When we talk about span, we are talking about the geometric reach of our mathematical tools. It is the entire playground where our vectors are allowed to travel. Now, let us look at a critical catch. Do two vectors always span a full two-dimensional plane? It seems like they should, but what if our second vector points in the exact same direction as the first? Let us see what happens when we rotate the purple vector until it lies directly on top of the steel blue vector. Remember our tracking drone? Now both dial A and dial B move the drone along the exact same line. No matter how much we turn the dials, we can only slide back and forth along this single track. Because our vectors are collinear, their span collapses from a full two-dimensional plane down to just a single line. To see this in action, let us look at a concrete example. Suppose our first vector is the vector 1, 2, and our second vector is the vector 2, 4. Can we reach the point 3, 6? The answer is yes, because we can simply add 1 times the first vector plus 1 times the second vector to land exactly on our target. But what if we try to reach the point 1, 5? Since both of our starting vectors lie on the line where y is always twice as large as x, any combination of them must also stay on that line. No matter how we turn our dials, we can never reach the point 1, 5. The math confirms that this point lies completely outside our span. Now let us take a massive step forward. What happens to our span when we break out of the flat page and step into three-dimensional space? To do this, we tilt our camera and watch our flat grid transform into a three-dimensional floor, adding a brand new vertical axis for height. If we have just two vectors in this three-dimensional room, can they span the entire space? Let us watch. As we turn our dials to combine them, they trace out a flat sheet that cuts diagonally through the room. So this flat sheet is a two-dimensional plane embedded in a three-dimensional world. Our drone is free to travel anywhere on this sheet, but it can never lift off of it. To break off this flat sheet, we must introduce a third vector that points in a completely new direction, lifting straight up. On our control panel, this adds dial C. Now, by combining all three controls, we can move forward, sideways, and upward. This third direction completely unlocks the vertical dimension. Here's the terminal insight. As we sweep all three dials, our drone is no longer trapped on a line or a flat sheet. It can now reach any single point in the entire three-dimensional volume. Remember our journey. One vector spans a line, two vectors span a plane, and three independent vectors span the entire three-dimensional space. The span has grown to fill our entire reality. But wait, does adding a third vector always expand our span to 3 dimensions? The answer is no. If we add a third vector, but it lies perfectly flat on the plane spanned by the first two, it adds absolutely no new directions. Our span remains stuck as a flat sheet, completely unable to lift off into the third dimension. Here's an interesting puzzle to ponder. What is the span of a single zero vector, which is just a point at the origin with no length or direction? If you have a theory about what this span looks like, the comment section is exactly where it belongs. I want to hear your take on this extreme case. Let us summarize the three possible shapes of a span. In any dimension, our span will always fall into one of these clean geometric categories: a single line, a flat plane, or the entire surrounding space. There are no jagged shapes or curved surfaces. The math of linear combinations ensures our reach is always perfectly flat and infinite. This completes our picture of the span of vectors as the complete territory of where your starting directions can take you. This is not just a calculation, but a map of ultimate reach. You now understand the span of vectors, and next we will explore what happens when we remove redundant paths in our next video, Linear Independence. Subscribe to keep exploring.